Go to speaker view, mute everything, you guys and noises. And now I'm gonna we're recording. Here we go. Prepare yourselves. Theme time. Hi everybody. It's time for Draw a Dragon with Benedetti. It's going to be a real nice day of drawing dragons. I'm so glad you're... Hello, I'm Darth Bob Ross. Oh my gosh. Darth Bob Ross, knock it off. We will draw boring, terrible things today. No, we're gonna draw a shark dragon today, and it's gonna be cool. So get your paper and pencil out and get ready. No, we're going to draw a big, boring ball of nothing. Ah! Sorry, you guys. Bob Ross, he just got really into May the 4th, and he just hasn't stopped. He hasn't taken off his Darth Vader helmet. So sorry about that. We're going to draw a shark dragon. Get your stuff ready. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Darth Bob Ross is in full support of zombies. That is... I just wish he would take the helmet off. I feel like if he would take the helmet off, things would go back to normal. But I don't know, because he won't take the helmet off. All right, dragon jars. Let's do this. Shark dragon today. All you need is a pencil and an eraser. Those are mine. I would like to do some coloring on this one, though. It'll be really fun if you can do some coloring. So if you have colored pencils or crayons or something, that'd be awesome. We're going to do a shark dragon, and we're going to try and make it look like it's underwater. And if we can make that happen, I'll be one happy camper. So that's what we're going to go for. Let's do it. Activate drawing camera. And behold, the gorgeous, beautiful blank page. Full of possibilities. All right. Shark dragon time. We're going to have a giant shark dragon in the water, okay? And when I think about how it's going to look, it's going to be like over here. Its head is going to be over this way, and it's going to be like curling back through the water. It's going to have a long old serpentine body, and then it's going to be curling back through the water, and then its tail is going to like come around here. So it's like a big old pickle blob up here. And then I'm going to curl it around here, and then its tail maybe is going to finish up way out here in the background. Maybe like, actually, maybe just here. Maybe it doesn't need this whole extra curl. You guys don't need to do any of this. This is how my brain goes from my brain onto the piece of paper. And I start to be able to see the idea that I had. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good. And then once I've got the idea, I'll say, okay, dragon drawers, get your pencils out. Because that's how I talk when we're drawing. All right, here's what we're actually going to do. I'm going to have one great big curved line that's going to start down here, and it's just going to go all the way across my paper. Okay, very nice curved line that's going to go all the way across my paper. And I'm just going to finish that up here on the bottom, and I'm going to curl it down this way. Okay. It
looks kind of like a squash.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like you're drawing an eggplant or a gourd. So if you like eggplant, does anyone out there like eggplant?
I don't.
Do you guys have your chats open? I hope you do. What's up, Aaron Youngberg? What's up, Lucas? Do you guys like eggplant? I like it. Our kids don't like it. Stella doesn't really like it.
I'm Stella.
Stella's here, by the way.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be doing schoolwork. Are you doing schoolwork?
Yeah.
Great.
She's
She's totally doing schoolwork. All right, so here's my eggplant. Fooled you, eggplant dragon today. Delicious. Just, no, it's a shark dragon. Okay, now look, I didn't connect it at the end here, and I'm going to show you why, because this line here is going to curl around, and it's going to start curling back this way. Okay, and then I'm going to, at the very end, I'm going to have one last little curly cue. Okay, so I'm curling back this way, and then a curly cue at the end. Okay. I'm going to be drawing all over this. There's going to be a ton of erasing today, but these are my planning lines. All right. I never do my planning lines this dark, except that I want to show you guys how I'm doing it. And that's why I'm going dark. I want you guys to be able to see where these lines are taking shape. All right. Now, what I'm going to do back here, starting about right here in this curve here, I'm going to follow this curve around, and I'm going to follow it. So there's going to be a big curve here. And notice how small the body is getting as I go back here. And it's going to get real small as here's my tail. My tail is going to be way back here. And I'm hoping with this like really extreme small to really extreme big, it'll look like our shark dragon is like headed back into the waters. It's going to give it some depth. Okay. The head of my shark dragon is going to be, sharks have giant heads. So I'm going to give a little line to show kind of where the head of my dragon is going to be. I think it's going to be around here. Okay. Somewhere up in there. Eggplant parmesan can be great. Ratatouille. Anybody like the movie Ratatouille? Do you know that eggplant is like a crucial ingredient in Ratatouille? It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right. Eggplant lasagna. I like eggplant lasagna. I'd always try and make that for the kids, but they rebelled. They rebelled against me. Yes. Stella's here to testify. All right. So I'm going to come up just a smidge, a little scooch up from the bottom line here. And this is going to be our belly scale line. So this is going to go all the way back, showing belly scales. But look at this. What? All of this in here is going to be belly scales. Until here. Okay. Maybe a little bit more of an angle. Maybe a little more of an angle here. Yeah. A little more of an angle. Sorry. My first line I didn't like so much. That's better. This line is a no good line. In fact, I'm going to eliminate that line and I'll send it to where terrible lines go. And I don't even know where that is. Only erasers know. Okay, there, that's better. And see where it meets my bottom line? It's curling all the way down here. That feels a lot better. And now my bottom line is here and it curves around all the way back here. We can put a really big old fishy tail on it back here when we want. All right, cool. Cool beans. I might be extending my dragon a little bit forward here because here's where we're going to start. We're going to start at our head and then we're going to start adding sharky bits as we go back. Do you guys have sharky bit? I'm not doing a hammerhead shark, just so you know. If you guys were hoping for hammerhead shark, when you come up to the front here, curl out this way and make a big old hammerhead shape. Okay. You can make a hammerhead dragon. I'm going to show you. This is the shape that you would do for your hammerhead dragon. And you put a big old eyeball right here and a bunch of teeth. Ah, I'm not doing hammerhead dragon though. But that's what you would do if you were into hammerhead shark dragon day. I'm going to do more great white shark, traditional shark shape dragon. Okay. Wow. Does anyone out there like eggplant? Okay, wait. We had Ollie and Evelyn are into it. Kalika likes it. Savannah, no. Not Savannah. No, thank you on the eggplant. All right, fair enough. I'm not trying to push eggplant on anybody. But maybe give it another shot. Maybe one day. Okay, let's do our little dragon. Shark dragon. The snout on a shark comes way forward. Okay? And it's real pointed at the front. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it come out even further. And now I'm going to bring it back. But watch this. As I come back here, I'm bringing it back in a point. Let me erase that planning line underneath it so you can see more clearly what I'm working with. It's starting to look like a fish now, okay? Here's where we're going to get some real sharky vibes coming in. If we put an eye right here, sharks have like such teeny little mean eyes. I don't know if they're mean. I'm projecting now. Okay, now that we've come back and we've made our point for the nose, this line comes down towards me just a little bit. And now I'm going to continue it back. Okay. So there's like this little bump down here because this is where the mouth is going to be. They have these long noses and then there's the mouth. We could even make this an open mouth. We'll see. We might want to turn it into an open mouth at some point. We might even put the mouth down here. Yeah, I kind of like the look of that. So here's what I did. Even after I made my bump, I came down here. Here was my planning line. I'm going to bring my chin down just a little bit further. And I'm going to come forward. And then across. I came forward down here. And then I moved across into the body of my shark dragon. And now, let me finish that mouth. So this line is going to come back. I'm going to follow the curve here, bring it forward, and then, hey, Sam. Looks like my shark dragon's kind of like, hey, Sam, how you doing? Hey, hi, everybody. I'm a happy little shark dragon. Regular shark? Cool. Go for regular shark. I am not going to have a happy shark dragon, just so you know. I'm not in the mood for a happy shark dragon. I don't want any happy shark dragons hanging around today. Here is the middle line of my shark dragon. We're looking at mostly one side of it, but I can see that middle line, and the middle line is going to disappear when it gets up here, but here is that middle line. So draw that middle line in so you have something to plan with, because we need to make our giant shark fin on the back of our shark dragon. Okay. I'm not sure about this mouth. We're gonna have to monkey around with that mouth when we get there, but it's a good plan for now. We'll leave it alone for now. Okay. Liam's got regular. If you guys are feeling like regular shark today, that's awesome. Do it. So just back from where the head, my planned head met the body, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna go way up. I'm gonna go way up, and because this is a shark. Oh my gosh, you guys! I have reached the extreme edge of the page, and because I only got to play it once yesterday, here it is again from yesterday.
When I left you, I was but in the middle of the page. Now I am at the extreme edge of the page.
Oh my goodness. We'll see if we can get to another extreme edge of a page so that we can play that again. All right. So this fin, now if you're making a regular shark, just take this and swoop it back down to that center line. You're done. But if you're making a real gnarly shark dragon, I'm going to put some extra spikes and maybe there's got like some little like wavy bits that come off of the shark dragon on the back there. So I'm going to try and make it look a little Willow, do a happy shark dragon. I like it. It looks like a minnow. Uh-oh. Gabriel the cat, we need to turn this into a shark dragon stat, okay? And we'll see how we can do that. All right. Here's that big fin. You know what? And because this is a shark dragon, I'm just going to start making more and more fins. You know what? I'm even going to give it another big dorsal fin. I'm going to curl it back even a little bit more as it's going back here. And I'm going to have other fins just like going back. Okay. And on this one too, I'm going to give it some of those little frayed edges because I really want this to look like some type of, what is that in the water? I don't know. But mine's got a bunch of fins. I might even bring another fin up here. And as I bring it up onto the head, these fins might start to become just straight up dragon spikes. Yep, that just happened. The way that I turned it from a fin into a dragon spike is I started, instead of having it be flat along the edge that I can see like these are, I started putting a little rounded bit. And as soon as you do that, it looks more like a cone, less like a fin, okay? And I'll put another one down here towards the snout. Okay. All right. Now, before I come up and monkey around too much more with this head, which really we're going to shrink down. It's not going to go all the way back here. We need right in here. So right back here in this big part of the front part of the body, I'm going to make a little plan, because right there, instead of a front arm, a failed Pac-Man. Larissa, I really want to see what that looks like. Wavy bits, another name for band. Oh my goodness, wavy bits. Heck yeah, let's put that on the on our master list of dragons. I'm also collecting band names and song titles for the band Dragon Skull. So yes, dragons chasing fish. I'll show you what I'm going to draw out here at the end if I have time. I'm excited for it. All right. So what I'm going to draw here is that giant fin. Okay. So I'm going to come here to the front side, the head side of this little oval that I made, which is going to turn into a side fin. And I'm going to start here. I'm going to bring it way out across all of this dragon that I've already done. And it's going to come back to a big point. And then watch this. It's going to connect back here. This is the other connection point. But before I get there, I want to draw jagged and real funky bits going on. Okay. And then this will be where it connects to my actual body. To show you what this is going to do, to show you the shape that I wanted to make here, let me erase everything inside of it so you can see that this is actually on top. If you guys want to erase with me right now, you can. I know we don't have any cool, funky erasing music, but for the sake of clarity, I want to show you what I'm doing. All right, so that giant fin sits up on top right there. All right, and then maybe back here, look, let's follow this line on our dragon's body. Maybe back here, there's another one, okay? So back here, there's another one. It's not as big. Did you guys see how I planned that out? Once you've drawn something on your dragon body or a human body or anything, it's really helpful to be able to kind of follow those lines around. So on this one, that fin line, if I keep it parallel to the bottom of my body, curls around like this. So if I follow it around, it'll be curling right here, but I can do another plan, another oval plan like I did up here. And then the front side of it is here. I'm not going to be able to see the full fin on this, but I can still put like a little jagged thing in the back and then erase what's inside of it. So now I have another fin as I head further back. And you know what? Maybe like back here, maybe there's another one way back here on this part of the body. And here I would be able to see it on both sides of the tail. This is getting into teeny details, and you do not have to follow me into teeny detail land ever. But sometimes I get excited about how things are looking, and it's like, ooh, I could put more of those on there. All right. Now that we're down here,
That's looking really good.
it's looking like a cool shark dragon. It's coming around. Ooh, Ollie and Evelyn said put gills on it. I say if you want to put gills on it, put gills on it. We'll see how this head turns out. I'm still wanting to see. I'm not sure how this head is all shaping up here. I'm gonna have to go over to an image library on Google and figure out what a shark looks like when it's opening its mouth, because this bottom part here and this like nose nubbin part is not satisfying to me. This is more satisfying to me than all that stuff that I put underneath it. All right. So let's check out. Whoa. I just looked up sharks and they are awesome looking.
Yes.
Okay. So this head is going to come down and then it just kind of stops. And then underneath, yeah, that's kind of going to have to work for its mouth is not open very wide. These things can open their mouths so wide, it looks like. So, but I'm going to redo the bottom of my dragon here because I didn't like all those big bumps and stuff. And so now I've got just from here, that bottom jaw does have the hinge on it. So it's the bottom of the jaw that would open. And I'm just going to have it open a little bit. And that's going to curve around. Okay. There's my open mouth. It still looks very friendly. Have a small dorsal behind. Ooh, 3 rows of teeth. I'm not going to get 3 rows of teeth in there, but I love that you guys know all these things about sharks. This is awesome. It's detail time for our shark. And we need tons of time for our coloring, because coloring something to look like it's underwater is not easy. Okay. Have you guys ever seen pictures of like that dinosaur shark?
Yes.
Right? That thing looks crazy. There's like prehistoric dinosaur sharks. So check out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to start on my head. Here's my head. I'm going to plan out where I want the eye to be. The further forward your eye is, and the more of a triangle the eye is, I think the more sinister your dragon looks. Megalodon. Yeah. Oh my goodness. You guys, Larissa just dropped a nice research thing on sharks. It's up in the chats. Holy cow. There's so much good information in there. Yes. If you do an angry eye up front, it'll make it more fierce. But now watch, I'm going to move my eye back a little bit. What if I do the same eye back here?
Way more angry.
Way more angry. Now, what if I do the same eye up here? It like every single placement of anything that you do can change things so much. That's why it's so fun to work with your pencil and your eraser. You can just move it around until you think you've got it in exactly the place that you want it. Now, actually, I want mine to have a little bit more of a shark type of an eye, and shark eyes are basically just circles. And now it looks too happy again. Oh, I can't stand it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the circle just like that, but I'm going to shadow on top of it so that it's going to look angry. I can still make that circle look a little bit more fierce and angry. Okay, now watch. I'm going to take from that center line, I'm going to draw a few more lines radiating out because I want there to be huge scales. Watch, I'm going to do some giant scales up here. They're going to get smaller as they get closer to the nose. But now that when I did that line, inside of that line, I'm doing these big old scale plates, okay? And they're going to get real small as they get up to the nose here. Because remember, it's also a dragon. It's not just. Let's do, maybe I'll start down here. And then this one will be like a little bit more pointed. Do I like that? Do I like that shape? I think I liked it a little bit more rectangular. So I'm going to start correcting back to my rectangles. Yep, I like the rectangle better. And then, of course, over the eye, it's going to have its little protective cover over the eye. And I'm going to shade underneath it. Okay. Underneath here, I'm not going to worry about underneath here. If I need to, I can put like little indications of scales. I do want to add some extra cool things to this body. So I'm going to make another line up above my fin line. I know I went really fast through this head scale stuff. You can put those on there if you want. Doesn't matter to me. I don't think it's that. This is not a make it or break it for your shark dragon moment, okay? Erase some of those inside lines. I'm going to erase my pointy ones so that I have just my kind of my rectangle ones left. If you're working on this with me, then you can, hopefully that'll buy you some time. And then I can go on and put some cool dragony, sharky details on the body. Megalodon, that's the name of it. That's such a good name too. Megalodon. No, you can always tell me. We're picking up more good band names today. Okay, I like it. Okay, these scales are gonna even creep back onto the body. So I want these giant armor plates. See that line? I'm just gonna continue that line all the way back so that these giant armor plates up here, I can keep them. Okay. And then maybe underneath those armor plates, all the way back, we have like maybe there's like some like spiky bits. These are non-distinct details that I'm putting on there. And that's okay for me right now, just because I want it to look like maybe there's like some cool spiky sharp bits that are happening back there. And then maybe above, maybe here, kind of in line with this, there's like another row of large bumpy scales, but less regular. I'm just kind of making like little circles as I go back. I know I'm not being super helpful in having you guys go step by step with me. Megalodon is a great album name. Wavy Bits with their album Megalodon, or Megalodon with their album Wavy Bits. I don't know. Okay. Here's where the jaw's coming up. So I'm going to end the head here where the jaw comes up so that I know where to start my belly scales, because I do want this dragon to have some belly scales. Okay. Here, as the dragon is turning here, a lot of those belly scales all end up in the same spot. And then as it's turned here, I'm only seeing the belly scales. You guys see that? Okay, so it's going back and then it's turning and I get only belly scales here. All the way back to here until it turns back, and then I get my tail fin, which is very far away from me. And I'm going to make it just like a little bit weird so that it is clearly not your everyday shark, but is in fact a dragon. Shark dragon. Ah, I got some weird lines going around in there. Okay. Don't forget the gills.
Wow.
Okay, let's put some gills on there. Let's put the gills. The gills are going to go, well, they would go right here, but I already put a bunch of stuff there. So we can erase some of that stuff to put our gills in if you guys want. It would probably be like right in here. Put in your big old gills. Gill. 2 is enough to let people know that it's got gills. 3 is like, hey, I care about this shark dragon's biology. I'm going to give it 3 gills. You can put some gills in there if you want. Let me see if I can escape my glare. I threw some gills on there. Okay, you guys, we're getting ready for coloring. All right. Before I color, I'm going to come over here, right out here, and I'm going to draw a little circle. Let me see if I can zoom you in here on what I'm up to. Okay. I'm going to draw a little circle. In front of the circle, I'm going to make a teeny little rectangle. Behind the circle, I'm going to make 2 ovals. And then I'm going to have like a little lump that comes down. I'm going to color all of this stuff in. And I'm going to make teeny bubbles coming up from this. And then I'm going to make a stick and a stick. And coming out from it, I'm going to have a little 1, 2, 3. A little 1, maybe just 2. Maybe 3 is a bit much. And then over here, I'll make another stick and a stick. And there's my little scuba diver that accidentally found this shark dragon. Well, that was a really nice vacation. I think we'll go scuba diving. Oh my God! What is it? You guys do not have to put a scuba diver down there if you don't want to. There's 2 things that I like about what the scuba diver does. One, it starts to add a little bit of story to this picture, and now it's got a little bit of a story to it, which is always more fun for me. And Stella, what's another thing that it does?
It makes the giant sharky thingy a giant Sharpie thing.
Totally. And in art, we say that we call that putting it to scale. If I just draw this, but it's exactly right. Stella nailed it. If I just draw this, it's like, oh, that's a really cool teeny little fish that would fit in my Shark Tank. But as soon as you put something familiar next to it, you know, or if like up here we had drawn a boat, you know, something. Yeah, or if for some reason an elephant had fallen into the ocean here, then all of a sudden you're looking at it to scale with something that is familiar to you. And as soon as that happens, it's like, oh, wow, that is really big. And that's a really funny thing to do. All right. Summer break is coming up, everybody. Okay, it's time for coloring. So I'm going to do two things. Before I go to color, I'm going to do more planning lines, because if you want something to look like it's underwater, we have a couple ways to do it. What we're going to do is it's going to be the surface of the water is going to be up here. I'm going to draw a little oval kind of across the top of my page. Okay. You know, that oval up there is at the extreme edge of the page.
Extreme edge of the page.
Had to kick it old school there for a second. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here, now that I know where the light would be coming from the surface, I'm going to draw beams of light. These are beams of light coming down into the water. Okay. These are going to be really important when we're coloring. Okay. I'm even going to have one that goes over my dragon. It's going to go right over. This one goes right over also. I'm going to put this one over. Okay. You decide if it goes over or under. And then the rest of these are going to be behind. Okay. But they're all kind of angling towards the same place. Okay. Those will be really important. And if the light is up here, then this is going to be really light for our ocean, and it's going to get really dark down here. The other thing to remember is to leave this little bubble. I'm going to outline around these little bubbles because I want those bubbles to show up too. So I don't want to color in on my bubbles. So I'm going to put a protective wall around my bubbles. I'm going to draw these, and now watch what I'm going to do. It's eraser time. Let's get to our eraser jam. Eraser jam time. I'm going to go to FaceTime cam real quick, because when I put on my erasing jams, I like to get funky. Oh yeah. Get ready. Get your eraser out. Erasing jam. Let's do some erasing. You and me erasing all the time, yeah. Yeah, Clyde. I like those dance moves up there. Okay, you got your eraser? Get ready. We're gonna fade down. The first thing I'm gonna do is these two beams of light that I had going over my dragon, watch what I'm gonna do. Everything in them, I'm gonna erase it out. I wanna remember that this light is on top. Okay, so I'm gonna erase it out. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase any planning line that I see. Like the little ones that I put in my dragon spikes, I'm going to try and erase those. Some of the center line, I'm going to erase. Let me get out my fancy eraser. It looks like a pencil, but it's just a real sharp eraser. Isn't that cool? Really helps when I want to erase something that has details. You can get stuff like that at art stores. Did they open up art stores again? I don't know if they did in California. I hope so. I need some other supplies. Okay. Ooh, yeah, let's erase all of the planning lines that ended up in that big dorsal fin. I don't want to see those. Same with that one right there. Okay. Oh yeah, and this little line up here. I don't need that one anymore. Be gone! Okay. Ooh, I forgot teeth. How could I have forgotten teeth? They got so many rows of teeth. I can only get one row of teeth in there and have it look even close to like something like teeth. So I'm just going to leave the one row in there, okay? I'm ready. My planning lines are done. Let's see if we can get our jam to fade out here. Time to fade out. Okay. We have faded out the erasing jam. We've got our shark. It is coloring time. Here's all the colors that I selected. Okay, every single blue that I had, plus a couple of greens. Okay, I got like my turquoise aqua color. I got a light green. I got all of my blues, lights, middles, darks, and I have a black as well. Okay.
Wait, is that silver?
And I got silver. I don't know if the silver is going to work. I hope that it does. Okay.
So do I, because whatever it is, it's important.
There's one, let's see. You know, there's one more thing. I was going to do this with coloring. Here, I'm going to do it with coloring. Sometimes I would do this with planning lines, but it's going to get, the lines are going to get too confusing on the page. And so I'm going to try and do this without planning lines. We're going to do this just straight onto the shark. If you want to make the shark look, yeah, if you guys have grays, get your grays. Ooh, curbside pickup. Cool. I've got an art store in Sebastopol that does curbside pickup. I'm going to put an order in with them. I'm going to get a light blue. And if you guys look at underwater pictures, what happens when the sun comes through the water is it leaves these very strange shadow patterns on the tops, only on the top surfaces of the things that it lands on. So let's start over here because this is a big, wide, flat surface. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to plan out with my blue pencil what those little lines are going to look like. Okay. So I'm just going to make swirly lines that I think look like the kinds of lines. Sometimes they meet the kinds of lines that make it look like something is underwater. Okay. And they're just, these are happening because it's coming through the water in different ways. So I'm making like little snaky lines. And now I'm going to come back with my pencil, and everywhere that those lines don't meet, and I'm also not going to color inside of these little shafts of light, I'm going to gently shade with my light blue. Okay. To make those little reflecting lines in the water, just try and stay loose. Stay loose. Okay, and I'm just going to color in everywhere except for inside of those little squiggle lines.
It reminds me of when we're at dinner and I was pulling this.
Yes, like, yeah, exactly. If you're ever in a pool, just get some goggles on. Go underwater and get some goggles on. Okay. So I'm going to leave some white lines like this so that there's a place where it'll look like the sun is getting through. That's the first layer of coloring that I'm going to do here. And I'm going to do this exact same thing all across the top of our shark dragon. It's going to go, here's the line. Basically, that little line of random spikes in the fin over here, that's the line that all of these highlights and reflected shadows from the top would show up. So I'm going to make them all over here. They're always going to be curved, just always curved. As long as you make them curved, you're going to be in good shape. And this would take a really long time if you were, if you want to be like really careful about it and stuff. I don't have time to be super careful. And sometimes that's better because then you can finish something. So I'm going to have these lines come across here, just making more of these little lines so that I can come back with my color and just make sure that I leave white spaces. If I don't plan and I don't give myself these little guides of where to leave the white, sometimes I forget and I get really bummed out because once the color shows up, it's really hard to get it to go away. It can be done. You can erase colored pencil, but it's just not clean. And so it's just so nice to start out with your plans the way that you want them. Notice how I'm also leaving these beams of sunlight. I'm leaving those open as well. Okay. Working with the colors that happen underwater is like, it's a coloring challenge for sure. Don't tell yourself that this should be easy or that you should nail this on the first time, because that would not be fair to you or your coloring. So get in there, stay loose, try and get some of these little swirls to show up on the back of your shark dragon. Isn't that weird? If it was a dragon shark, you would automatically assume that it was a shark, like an actual shark in the sea that like had some kind of dragon. For some reason, somebody named it a dragon shark. But if it's a shark dragon, now you think it's a dragon that has some shark tendencies. Why is that? Why do we do that? Why is that the order? I don't have an answer for you. Okay. Okay. It's going to take a long time for you guys to get your sunlight rays to feel good, but I'm going to just leave it here. I will show you if I come back, I'm going to come back with another light blue on my dragon, and I'm going to start coloring in those shapes again. Remember that when you start adding different colors, your colored pencils just get so happy. They love it, and they start to smooth together, and they blend, and all those white spaces start to go away. The white spaces that you don't want, hopefully. Hopefully the white spaces that you like, you're leaving. Right? And as I come in again with that next color, everything starts to really smooth out. So if I was doing this, you know, when we're done with our session today, I'm going to have to finish up, and I'm going to come back in with different colors. I'm going to keep adding layers until this looks exactly how I want it to look. Yeah, I mean, not exactly how I want it to look. As close as I can get it. And then I'll keep going. But I just want to show you what that extra layer of color is going to do here. It's just going to make it, it's going to make the highlights are going to stand out that much more. Okay. Oh, it's really looking underwater already. Do it. If you come in late, a failed flying fish is A-okay here. All right, we're going to start doing our water in the back. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do first. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to get a dark blue. And when you do this, find an album that you really like. Okay. Put on that latest release from Dragon Skull, whatever it is that you're into, and come down here to the bottom of the page, because you're just going to color in everything down here dark blue. And it's going to be dark. This is going to be, look at how high up. Okay, so I'm going to go right to the edge of my shark here. Another thing I'm going to do when we're finished here is I'm going to come back and I'm going to outline. After I'm done coloring, I'm going to outline this dragon. This dragon's going to really, I think it's really going to benefit from having some of the lines darkened up. But for now, you're just going to take a dark blue. I'm not going to do the whole ocean right now. I'm just going to do a little section of it. Okay, to show you the idea. If we have time, maybe I'll do the whole thing, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to get nice and dark down here. Everything down here, super dark. Now, as I come up and I start to hit these beams, watch this. I do not want my dark colors to be inside of the light beams. So I'm going to make sure that my colors, as they come up into the beams, I'm going to fade it out. Okay. That dark color just faded out in the beam, but the stuff that's not in the beam stays dark, much higher. Look at that. So the dark blue that I started way down low, it hit the sunbeam right about here, and I faded it out real fast. But when it's not in the sunbeam, it doesn't fade out until much higher, okay? Way up here. So here's outside of the beam of light. It's still dark as it comes up towards the surface. Outside of the beam. Outside the beam. I'm outside the beam of light. Down here, it's super dark. This is all deep water down here. Okay. Dark, dark, dark. Dark, 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 dark. Oh, cool. We're getting close to our little scuba swimmer. Scuba swimmer is going to be fun. Remember, leave the bubbles alone. Very easy to just get rid of all those bubbles in your coloring frenzy. Okay. I'm actually going to leave some light areas around the whole swimmer so that you can still see him. If I color right up to him and make him black, he's going to disappear. I don't want him to disappear. The effect that he has on this picture is he creates the scale of the giant dragon. So I want to make sure that he stays there. Okay. I'm going to keep my dark blues going in here. This is all water. Okay. I'll leave this little section. I'll finish later. And then this is all fading in. That's a beam. Actually, where are my beams? This always happens. I can't really tell what's a beam and what isn't. Okay. This is water. This is a beam. And as you come out here, it's going to be dark. As you come down here, it's going to be dark. All right. Cool. Now. Yes. Like maybe your diver is like a knight in shining armor that very foolishly jumped into the ocean with shining armor on. Unless it was enchanted with floating spells, then it would be cool. And then if they have a sword and shield, that makes the story even more exciting to me. I think that would be awesome. Okay, up here, I'm going to leave a really bright spot in the middle, but around that is going to be this light blue. Okay, so I'm going to draw with my light blue up here. And the light blue is going to come down in between all of these beams of light. And it's going to get darker as it comes down. Okay, so I'm starting out nice and light up here. Here it's blending with the dark blue. And as it's blending with the dark blue, I'm pushing harder with my light blue. And now I'm blending it into all the water that's down here. Okay. Starting super light and getting darker as you come down. And where it starts to blend with the dark blue is where you're going to start pushing harder. Okay. Make a nice blend. Starting up nice and light, getting darker, getting darker, getting darker, light and light and light and light and getting darker. Okay, we can go all the way across with that. And now, just with this, I think we have enough of a vibe that it's underwater. This white is going to be too white. So I will take a light blue, another light blue, and I'm going to try and, I don't want it to be white. I want it to still be watery, okay? But I wanted it to be watery in a different way than the water around it so that it looked, so that you're creating these different gradients. So it's much lighter. And now when I put this light blue over it, it just keeps everything watery. But you can still get that feeling of light shining down over stuff. Okay. Oh, how about that? Well, little light blue. In all this water down here, to make it richer and darker and darker and richer, you can take another dark blue. This is blue violet, but it's a nice rich dark blue color. So I might take that and add another layer for my dark waters down here. And I'll do the exact same thing that I did with the dark blue, where it's going to come up and it's going to get to the shiny part of the ocean. And it's going to come up and it's going to fade out in the sunbeam. But it's going to stay dark around the sunbeam. Okay. And it's going to fade out much later. You're just going to keep adding layers of blue. And if you're like, wow, you know, this is like really blue, but I don't want mine to be this blue. I want it to have a little bit of that aqua green in it. If you're using colored pencils, that's great. If you're using markers, sometimes you're stuck with what you get because markers can be a little bit harder to blend depending on the markers that you got. But I've got this other cool like turquoise color. So maybe up here where the light is, I can come back with a turquoise and start to get a little bit of green colors in there. That'll be nice. Yeah, up here where the light is, I'm getting more greens, and maybe that fades out into the purples and blues as it goes down. I like it. Okay. Yeah, and then we could just continue that over here and all of this stuff over here. But let's come back to let me come back to my dragon, because dragon could, I would even come back here, especially at the very bottom here, you guys. Let me just do this last little bit for the ocean. And at the very bottom, I would go heavy with my black. And I would start fading the black out as I kind of approach the dragon. But for all these edge areas, I would have a lot of black because it gets dark. Oh, but it gets dark in the depths of the ocean. Okay. And that'll add a nice, even darker layer to it. Okay. I'm going to take my dark blue. If you guys are still coloring water and you're getting your sunbeams and all that, awesome. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything that I'm doing here. Okay. I'm going to take this aqua color and I'm going to start going over the top of the whole thing. All the spots that were white are now getting a very thin coat of this turquoise aqua color. Okay. Because I don't want them to be white. I just didn't want them to be that blue. And now that they're marked, I can make sure that I keep them separate. As long as I don't blend them in too much. Okay. So here's my turquoise aqua color. And it's going to fade out because about this halfway point, things are going to start getting really dark. Ooh, let's put it on the big fin too, though. Okay. Yes. That little bit of green adds a lot. It's a lot of different, just cool watery character to things. Maybe with anything, if you think that the light wouldn't get to it, it'll be darker. Okay. And the light is all coming from the surface. So all the stuff on the bottom side of our dragon is going to be, here we go. I'm going to come back to that dark blue color. And I'm going to just fade it up as it starts to get closer to the top. And then I can fade it into the aqua color that I had going on. I'm going to do that all the way around. I don't want it to be the same color as the water. I still want it to have some different characteristics. So I'm probably going to come back in. One of the things that will really help is the outlines that I'm going to put on it. That'll help to keep it separate. But like these spots here, where it's underneath the body or it's underneath the fin, these are going to be super dark. Okay. There's no way the light's getting down here. It might be reflecting around down there, but it's going to be super dark. So you can, and this stuff down here underneath the center line, that's going to be dark as well. It's all going to be pretty dark. Even on the head here to show a little bit of the shape of the head. Everything below the eye is going to start curving and curling down. From here, it's just going to be jumping in there and just playing with all of these colors. I don't like how this totally blends in with the water behind it. Probably would have been cool to leave it lighter. If I were you, I would leave yours lighter. But one thing I can do is I can come in, and if I give my dragon a little bit of a greenish twinge to it, hopefully I can separate it from the background water by saying like, no way, my shark dragon, is this what I wanted? I wanted some green in there, but I wasn't sure that this is how it was going to show up. This is more of like a creative problem solving because I didn't realize how much it was blending in with the background water as I was coloring. But now, and as I can come up here and start to go over the blues that I made. Oh, thanks. I'm drawing dragons. I don't know why people keep trying to get in touch with me between 10 and 11. Don't they know? Doesn't the world know yet? You guys know. Okay, so I got my green going on now that I can start to fade in. Ooh, I like what that does. I might bring some of that in up here. Yes, indeed. A fine greeny twinge to my dragon. Okay. No parts of this are going to be finished. And I want okay, so just so you guys know, I'm going to do a tiny bit of outlining and then we'll end the drawing portion and we'll go to show and tell. But before we do that, I'm going to take my little outliner pen and I'm going to just show you how I can make this jump out at you just by throwing these outlines on there. Okay, so I'm going to follow all the lines that I did with my pencil and that I tried to follow with my coloring. And there's my center line, there's the background line. All the other lines are those little scales that we talked about. Ended up being a little bit more rectangular. And down to the snout. Right down to the snout. And the other fun thing that I can do with this big pen is, because to make these look more like scales, if I put, see, I can go back under, and anywhere where I think there would be a big deep shadow because the scale would be kind of covering it, like right here, I can tuck in an even darker shadow and it'll look pretty darn cool. I mean, if I dare say so myself. And you can put more of those little scales in as you feel them, as you feel the spirit of scales move you. Spirit of scales. Spirit of scales. Oh my goodness. As you feel the spirit of scales move you, if you're in the band Dragon Skull, holy cow, that's a song. Oh, this is going to be great when the eye shows up here. Oh, I do not want to be that diver in the water right now. That would not be fun. Sorry, diver in the water. I created you in a very precarious place. Not responsible of me, but it helps the story. So I'll put my little teeth down here. I don't know how many of the top teeth we're going to see, but I'm going to start to put in real dark shadow here because on the inside of that mouth, you're just not going to see much that deep into Shark Dragon land. All right. If you guys like the idea of the outlines, feel free to do the outlines. If you don't like the idea of the outlines, leave this part out entirely. Okay. Don't even need to mess with it. I just really liked it. And then I'm going to very faintly, I'm going to break up my line as it goes through that sunbeam there. Okay. And if you guys saw, it just got broken up because I want to try and acknowledge that the light is coming through there. That was my idea for how to do it. We'll see if it worked out. And then finish these fins on the back. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Get a couple more of those giant scales running down back there. Maybe put a little more darker things in the corners where the light would be having a hard time getting under those giant plates of scale. Yeah, like it. So I'm going to continue this after we're done with the class today, and I'll continue inking it and probably do a little bit more pushing some colors around. But that's it. If you came this far, I think you're going to be happy with your underwater shark dragon. That is my hope. Okay, so let me play my theme on the way out and then stick around. And if you guys are down to show me your shark dragon, I'd love to see some of these. So let me just play my outro music. Oh, thank you guys. Thanks a ton for drawing a dragon with me today. Hi, I'm Gio Benedetti. Thanks for drawing a dragon with me. Hey, I'm Gio Benedetti. Thanks for drawing a dragon with me. That was super fun. You can send donations to Draw a Dragon. It's Venmo at Gio Benedetti or PayPal, giobenedetti.com. All the information is on our website, drawadragon.org. Drawadragon.org. That's a cheer. I just made it up right now. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. That was awesome, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I totally appreciate it. We'll stop the cloud recording and we'll